Well, England's start to the World Cup couldn't have been much better. Can't say the same for Pakistan. The two face off here at Trent Bridge on Monday. George, first of all, I'll go to you. There has been a lot of attention focused on how Pakistan didn't cope with the short pitch bowling that came their way from the West Indies. What impact do you think that might have on England's selections?
Well, I suppose the obvious answer would be that England might add Mark Wood to their side. Obviously, he's a quick bowler. He's every bit as quick as Jofra Archer. And they say he's fit. He bowled in training today on Saturday. So that will be a temptation. He could play ahead of Plunkett. They didn't seem convinced he would today, but I would be very tempted to add Wood to the team. And yeah, test Pakistan again with the short ball. They didn't look at all comfortable.
Is there anything Pakistan can do selection-wise, perhaps to negate that then, Oz?
Not necessarily to negate it. I think they've just got to play it better. You know, they've been peppered by the short ball wherever they've gone. In South Africa, Dwayne Olivier peppered them throughout the series, and they do. It's weird with them, as in they do have the ability to play the short ball okay, but they also make some bad choices sometimes. And a lot of the shots that they played against West Indies were bad choices. And so I think it's just a question of them continuing to make better decisions. I think the one thing they can do in their selection is bring in Asif Ali. It's a shocker that he wasn't in the squad after what he's done and after the kind of batting that he provides that order. With their strike rates all in kind of the 85 to 88 range, the kind of firepower that he brings them, it's just mind-boggling that he wasn't in that first 11 in the first game.
Mind-boggling is something you can call the scores we've had here at Trent Bridge in the past, including 481 England here, world record. Could we see that top, do you think, George?
Well, I mean, it's the same pitch. It's exactly the same wicket. So I suppose it's possible. I don't think it's very likely, actually, for various reasons. I think the 10:30 starts are looking quite significant. I know it's only half an hour and people might be a bit surprised by that, but they used to play the old NatWest Trophy games with 10:30 starts, and it became notorious for the impact it had on the games. And I do think that, if teams are one down after 5 overs, they have to regroup a little bit, don't they, or even two down. And we saw that with England the other day. They kept losing wickets and they kept on having to regroup. So I would be a bit surprised, actually, if we saw the world record scores we were possibly anticipated ahead of the tournament because of those early starts. And those early starts are obviously being done for the huge broadcast market that's in Asia. So it's neither right or wrong, it's just an observation.
Yeah, something that Sarfaraz Ahmed talked about as well, the 10:30 starts and the importance of the toss. But Oz, what about Pakistan's bowling? I mean, Amir did pick up some wickets, perhaps the only bright spot of their day in their first match against the West Indies.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's gone without wickets for such a long time. I think that was his first 3-wicket haul since the Champions Trophy final. That's nearly 2 years now. He did pick up wickets, and he didn't look so bad. He looked better than he has for a while. I don't think he was looking as bad as the numbers made out. He wasn't giving away runs, which is important now in one-day cricket. But the rest of there are other bowlers under the scanner. Hasan Ali hasn't had a great couple of years since that Champions Trophy. He's kind of gone under the scanner of Amir's performances. And Shaheen and Hasnan, these are guys, these are young guys. If you throw them into a match like this, what do you kind of... You're hoping for the best. You're hoping that somebody like Shaheen doesn't kind of come undone. Wahab was a kind of panic pick back into the squad anyway. So it's with that bowling you kind of worry, which is unusual for Pakistan because you're mostly worried about the batting. I still feel that Amir will probably work his way into this tournament, and he needs Hassan and Shadab to kind of come to the party with them. But it's going to be a fairly high-scoring game. Whichever attack turns up for Pakistan.